Hello students, we have already started chapter 2 matrices, and in this topic we have seen different types of concepts like definition and operations types in a first lecture. In second lecture we have seen elementary transformations. In third lecture we have seen a concept of elementary transformations for finding inverse. Then in the next lecture we have seen adjoint method for finding inverse of a matrix. In lecture 5 we have seen method of solving systems of linear equations by matrix inversion method, and at sixth lecture we have seen a concept of solutions of systems of linear equations using reduction method. So already we are familiar with systems of linear equations, but when we think in a point of view of JEE or CET like competitive examinations, then whatever we have seen is not sufficient, and therefore we are going to extend our ideas about matrices in a point of view of JEE or CET examinations. So let us start matrices from a point of view of JEE or CET examination. I, Tavange Avinash from KTHM College Nashik, and in the next lecture we are going to discuss about JEE or CET corner for matrices. So let us start with solutions of systems of linear equations, and whenever we considering solutions of systems of linear equations, already we have seen by inversion method or reduction method, but there we have seen the systems which have unique solutions, and now we are going to consider types of systems as well as types of solutions. And let us start with, so consider a general system of linear equations, that is system of simultaneous linear equations is considered as a system of n equations in n unknowns. And if you considering n equations in n unknowns, then the general system of linear equations is considered like this: a11 x1 plus a12 x2 up to a1n xn is equal to b1. Then second equation is a21 x1 plus a22 x2 up to a2n xn is equal to b2. Continuing in this way, you can consider the nth equation as an1 x1 plus an2 x2 up to ann xn is equal to bn. This is general system of n equations in n unknowns. Then we can consider this system into a matrix form, and that matrix form is considered as Ax is equal to B, where A is a matrix of left hand side coefficients. It is n by n matrix, a11 a12 up to a1n as a first row, which are formed by considering the coefficients of first equation on left hand side, a21 a22 up to a2n, continuing in this way an1 an2 up to ann in nth equation. Okay, so these are nothing but elements in matrix A. Similarly, x1 x2 up to xn, this is matrix of variables, then that is equal to b1 b2 up to bn, this is matrix of right hand side constants. So this matrix form consisting of the matrices of order n by n, this is matrix of variables n by 1, and this is matrix of right hand side constants n by 1, and it is denoted by Ax is equal to B. This is matrix A, then this is matrix X, and this is matrix B. In this way you can consider. Now this n by n matrix A is called as matrix of coefficients, then X is called as matrix of variables, B is called as matrix of right hand side constants. Okay. Now we are going to consider two types of systems of linear equations, and the first type is homogeneous, second type is non-homogeneous system of linear equations. So let us start with homogeneous and non-homogeneous system. So whenever you considering a system of equation of the type Ax equal to B, then it is called as homogeneous system if B is equal to 0. That is, in a system Ax equal to B, if the right hand side constant b is equal to 0, means all right hand side constants are zeros, then in that case we calling that system as homogeneous system. But if any one of the entry is non-zero, then that is called as non-homogeneous system of linear equations. So there are two types of systems: homogeneous system in which right hand side constant matrix B is equal to 0, and non-homogeneous system in which right hand side constant matrix B not equal to 0. There are different methods of finding solutions, but first we must know what is the meaning of solution of system of linear equations. We have just seen a system of n equations in n unknowns, and that is represented by Ax equal to b, a set of values of variables x1, x2 up to xn which satisfies simultaneously all the equations, that is called as solution of the system of linear equations. So let us see which type of solutions are existing. If a system has a solution, or a system may not have a solution, or a system may have infinitely many solutions, there are three possibilities. And the consistent system means what? If a system of equations has one or more solutions, then it is said to be consistent. Otherwise it is said to be inconsistent system. Means if there is no solution for the system, then in that case it is called as inconsistent system, and if one or more solutions are there, it is called as consistent system of equations. So we are going to start with system that is non-singular system. If A is a non-singular matrix, that is determinant of A not equal to 0, then the system of equation Ax equal to b has always a unique solution. So if for the system Ax equal to b, the matrix is a non-singular matrix, then for such a system there always exists a unique solution. This is the first case. The second case says that if A is singular, now determinant of A is equal to 0, then in that case consider adjoint A into B, and if this product is equal to 0 matrix, then that indicates that the system has infinitely many solutions, and still it is called as consistent. So in these two cases the system is consistent system, because here we have unique means one solution, here we have infinitely many means more solutions. Okay. And the third case is if A is a singular matrix, again singular, but now adjoint of A into B is not equal to 0. In previous case it was 0 and now it is not equal to 0. So if this happens, then the system has no solution, that is the system becomes inconsistent system. So whenever you are expecting inconsistent system, you need these two properties: determinant must be 0 and adjoint A into B not equal to 0, then the system is inconsistent, otherwise it is consistent system. So we have three cases. Now we are going to think about solutions of homogeneous systems. In case of homogeneous system, the right hand side constant is 0, therefore it is of the type Ax is equal to 0 instead of Ax equal to b, and as the right hand side constant is 0, we know that for this system if we substitute all variables x equal to 0, then A into 0 is equal to 0 equation satisfied, means x equal to 0 is always possible solution for this system, and therefore it is always consistent system. At least this solution is there, but along with this infinite solutions are also possible. This solution if exists, then it is unique solution, but along with this there is possibility of non-zero solutions also, and see how that is possible. Suppose we considering here A is a non-singular matrix. If A is a non-singular matrix, then the system of equations Ax equal to b has unique solution. Likewise Ax equal to b, Ax equal to 0 has also unique solution if A is non-singular, and this solution is x equal to 0 and it is always called as trivial solution. But if A is a matrix such that Ax equal to 0 is a homogeneous system of n linear equations in n unknowns, and now if A is singular, in first case non-singular gives you unique solution, that is trivial solution. But if A is singular, then the system of equation has infinitely many solutions. If A is singular, then in that case the system of equation have infinitely many solutions. This solution is called as non-trivial solution. Okay. So let us see with the example. Suppose we considering here, show that the following system of equations is consistent. So we have given 2x plus 4y plus 6z is equal to 8, x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 5, and x plus y plus 3z is equal to 5. You have given a system of 3 equations in 3 unknowns, and you want to check whether it is a consistent system or inconsistent system. Actually here we want to show that it is inconsistent. So let us see what happens with this solution. If we considering the system in a matrix form is Ax is equal to b, you will observe that in first equation the coefficients are 2, 4, 6, they are appearing here as a first row. Then second equation has coefficients 1, 2, 3, they are appearing here as a second row 1, 2, 3. Then in a third equation 1, 1, 3, here the third row is 1, 1, 3. Is that clear? And right hand side constants are 8, 5, 5, they are appearing here 8, 5, 5. Sorry, it should be 5 here. Now we have to consider its determinant. So if you considering the determinant, then you will observe that determinant A is equal to, we have to consider 2 into this determinant. So 6 minus 3, it is 3. Then second term is always minus 4 into 3 minus 3, it is 0. And third term is 6 into 1 minus 1 2 is minus 1, and therefore you will observe that the determinant is 0. 6 minus 6, it is 0, and therefore it is clear that there are now only two possibilities, either infinite solutions or no solutions. So let us see what is system here. Ax equal to b, if you considering the matrix form is A 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 1, 3. X is equal to x, y, z, and b is equal to 8, 5, 4. Now adjoint of A, how we finding the adjoint? You considering here the first element, and that is its minor is this product minus this product. So 6 minus 3, it is 3, and that is coming with positive sign, it is written here. Then for the second element, the minor is product of these elements minus product of these elements, but 3 minus 3, it is 0, and that is coming with negative sign. And instead of writing that here, if you writing that here at this 2, 1 position, then that directly gives you the transpose, which is adjoint, and therefore the next element is 0 here. For this element, the minor is 1 minus 2, it is minus 1, so minus 1 will come here at the next position. Similarly, you can consider the minors and cofactors. For the second row, they are like this. Similarly, for third row, they are like this. So this is your matrix which is called as adjoint. Now if you considering here for the element 1, the minor is 12 minus 12, that's why it is 0. For this element 1, it is 6 minus 6, again 0. For this element 3, it is 4 minus 4, 0. So that's why the last column consisting of all entries zeros. Then once you considering this as a adjoint matrix, next you have to consider the adjoint A into matrix B. This is your matrix B, 8, 5, 4. So let us see what happens. Here adjoint A into B, this is your adjoint matrix which we have just obtained, and 8, 5, 4 is your required. Now you will observe that here the first row into this column, what you will get? 24 minus 30 is minus 6 here. Then next you have to consider second row into this column, that is 0. 0 into anything is 0. Then we have to consider third row into this column, minus 8 plus 10 is 2. Okay. So you will observe that this matrix is non-zero matrix, and therefore it is not equal to 0. We have seen that if this adjoint A into B is equal to 0, then infinitely many solutions, and if it is not equal to 0, then has no solution. So the system has no solution, therefore the given system is inconsistent system. Is that clear? Okay. Now the next concept for JEE will be expected is properties of adjoint matrix. Here we also going to consider properties of inverse matrices. A into adjoint of A is equal to adjoint A into A, and that is equal to determinant A into I. This is already verified by us in the last lecture. Okay. Then with the example you get it clear again. Suppose you have the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. Then determinant is equal to 4 minus 6, that is minus 2. Isn't it? 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Then you have to obtain cofactors. Aij is equal to minus 1 raised to I plus j into mij. Okay. So a11 is equal to m11, that is 4. How it is obtained? You have to delete the first row and first column, isn't it? So 4 is remaining, that is your minor with as it is plus sign, therefore 4 as it is. Then a12, that is for this element, the minor is obtained by deleting this row and this column, so it is minus of 3, minus m12, therefore minus of 3. Similarly you can consider for this third element, delete this row and this column, it is 2 with negative sign again. Okay, minus 2. And for this element you have to delete the last row and last column, so it is 1 with positive sign, it is not with negative sign, it is with positive sign, m22, it is 1 as it is. That clear? So once you considering this, then it is clear that these are your cofactors. Once you considering the cofactor matrix, then it is 4 minus 3 minus 2, 1. Adjoint is equal to cofactor transpose, therefore it is first column 4 minus 2 coming as a first row, second column minus 3, 1 coming as a second row. This is your adjoint of A, and therefore A into adjoint A was 1, 2, 3, 4, adjoint is 4 minus 2 minus 3, 1, and therefore this product is minus 2, 0, 0 minus 2. Similarly adjoint A into A is also coming same, that is you have to consider minus 2, 0, 0 minus 2. Okay, so determinant A into I, determinant was minus 2. Am I right or not? Determinant is minus 2, and minus 2 into I is 1, 0, 0, 1, so it is also minus 2, 0, 0 minus 2. So you will observe that from 1 to 3 here, then A into adjoint A is equal to adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I. Okay. Then properties of adjoint and inverse of a matrix. First property, reversal law. If A and B are invertible matrices of same order, then AB is invertible and AB inverse is always equal to B inverse A inverse. That is, inverse of product is equal to product of inverses, but in reverse order. You will observe here AB is a proper order and B inverse A inverse, that is in reversal order. That's why it is called as reversal law. In general, if A, B, C are multiple matrices, then in that case also you can consider ABC dot 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 inverse is equal to dot 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 C inverse B inverse A inverse. So first matrix coming at the last. That's why it is called as reversal law. Okay. The second property is, if A is invertible square matrix, then A transpose is also invertible, and A transpose is always having the inverse equal to A inverse transpose. Then third property, if A is a non-singular square matrix of order n, then determinant of adjoint is equal to determinant A raised to n minus 1. Means if A is a matrix of order 3 by 3, then you will observe that a determinant A raised to 2 is nothing but determinant of its adjoint. This is actually meaning of this statement. Determinant of adjoint is equal to determinant raised to n minus 1. Is it clear? Then fourth property is reversal law for adjoint. We have just seen a reversal law for inverse. AB inverse is equal to B inverse. A similar type of law is there for adjoint of a product, and that is reversal law for adjoint. If you considering adjoint of AB, then it is equal to adjoint B into adjoint A, and that is actually possible because we know that inverse is defined with the help of adjoint. Therefore, properties of inverse are applicable for properties of adjoint also. If A is an invertible square matrix, then adjoint of A transpose is equal to adjoint A is whole transpose. Again, transpose inverse is equal to inverse of transpose. That property is used here. Then, if A is a non-singular square matrix, then adjoint of adjoint A is always equal to determinant A raised to n minus 2 and into, there are many such properties you can consider. The next, if A is a non-singular matrix, then determinant of A inverse is equal to determinant A inverse, means it is actually 1 upon determinant of, that is written here. A determinant A inverse is nothing but 1 upon determinant A. Next, inverse of kth power of A is equal to kth power of inverse of A. This also, it means actually if you considering A inverse raised to k, then A inverse raised to k is always equal to A raised to k bracket. This is the meaning of last property of inverse. Okay. Now, with the example we get it clear. If A is equal to the matrix A0 0 0 A0 and 0 0 A, and we expecting determination of value of determinant A into determinant of adjoint A, then see what is the solution. We know that product of determinants is equal to determinant of product. So, determinant of A into adjoint of A is equal to a determinant of A into adjoint of A, and we know that A into adjoint of A is always equal to determinant A into I. Already we have seen previously. Therefore, it is equal to, you can consider determinant A 0 0 0 determinant A 0 0 0 determinant A. Now, we know that when a matrix is a diagonal matrix, its determinant is always equal to product of diagonal elements. So, you have is equal to determinant A cube, and already what is determinant of A? A into A into A, it is small a cube. So, small a cube raised to 3, this power is coming as it is. This is determinant of A. Okay. So, what are we getting? A raised to 9. This way you can consider the use of properties of inverse and adjoint. Okay. Now, next we are going to consider some more concepts which are useful in a point of view of JEE or CET examination. Rank of a matrix, that is very important concept. There will be always some questions in JEE on rank, and see what is the concept. Suppose you have given a matrix, then how the rank is defined. If A is a 3 by 3 matrix, and if determinant of A is not equal to 0, means it is non-singular, then you can directly say that its rank is 3. But if determinant is equal to 0, if determinant is equal to 0, then what happens? If determinant A is equal to 0, we can find all the minors of A, means all minors of order 2, determinants of order 2. There are 9 such determinants of order 2, and if at least one is non-zero out of them, then we will say that rank is 2. Then see what is the next. If determinant A is equal to 0 and if all minors are also 0, then we check the single element. If a single element is also non-zero, then the rank is 1. Otherwise, if every element is 0, then the rank is 0. So, this way you can consider the determination of rank of a matrix. With the example we get it clear. Suppose you have given A equal to 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Now, it is clear that if you considering determinant of A, it is equal to 0. Why? Because if any 2 rows or any 2 columns are identical, then value of determinant is 0. You will observe that all the columns or all the rows are identical, therefore its value is definitely 0. and we expecting here determination of rank of A. So while considering solution, determinant is equal to 0, okay, because two rows are same. Therefore we can find all the minors. So here if you considering all the minors, for example minor of this element is obtained by deleting this row and this column, what are you getting? 1 minus 1, 0 again. So all the minors are also 0. Then check for the single element. If there exists at least one non-zero element, then we will say that its rank is 1. So that's why rank of a matrix is 1, because there exists every element non-zero. Is that clear? Individually every element is non-zero, therefore its rank is 1. Clear? This is the way of considering rank of a matrix. Then another example, 1 0 0, 0 1 0 and 0 0 1. Find rank of A. Now determinant of A is equal to 1, that is determinant is not equal to 0, therefore as the order is 3 by 3 and its determinant is non-zero, you can directly say that its rank is 3. Clear? This way you can consider. So let us revise that. If A is a 3 by 3 matrix and determinant A is not equal to 0, its rank is 3. Then if the second thing that we can consider, if determinant of A is equal to 0, we will find all the minors. If at least one minor is non-zero, then the rank is 2. And if all the minors are also 0, but individual element is non-zero, if any one of the element is non-zero, then the rank is 1. But if all the minors are 0, all the elements are 0, then in that case only the rank of the matrix is 0. Here, this way you can. Next, we have to consider another concept, that is conjugate of a matrix and types of matrices. So let us see what is meaning of conjugate of a matrix. A conjugate matrix is a matrix obtained from a given matrix A by taking the complex conjugate of each element of A. For example, if A is equal to matrix 1 plus 2i, 2 minus 3i, 3 plus 4i, 4 minus 5i, 1 plus 2i, 6 minus 7i, 8, 7 plus 8i and 7, then its conjugate is denoted by A bar. This is the notation for conjugate, and it is obtained by considering conjugate of each element. So 1 plus 2i has a conjugate 1 minus 2i, 2 minus 3i has a conjugate 2 plus 3i, 3 plus 4i has a conjugate 3 minus 4i. This way you can consider conjugates of and element. That clear? Okay. This way you can consider conjugates. Now using these conjugates we are going to consider some properties. So conjugate of a conjugate is equal to the original matrix. Then conjugate of addition is equal to addition of conjugates. Then conjugate of a scalar multiple is equal to scalar multiple conjugate of a conjugate of A. And here alpha being any number, it may be real number or a complex number. And AB conjugate is always equal to A conjugate into B conjugate. A and B being comparable for multiplication, that is important thing. Okay. Then orthogonal matrix. Now we are going to consider some more types which we have never seen until in a syllabus of Maharashtra State Board. Orthogonal matrix means what? Any square matrix A of order n is said to be orthogonal if its transpose is equal to inverse. Here you will observe that A into A transpose is equal to I. Generally we considering A into A inverse is equal to I, and here you will observe that A inverse is replaced by A transpose, means the transpose is equal to inverse, then that is called as orthogonal matrix. So for example, cos alpha minus sin alpha cos alpha, then is an orthogonal matrix because A inverse is equal to cos alpha sin alpha minus sin alpha cos alpha, it is A transpose. Actually there should not be this negative sign. If this is your matrix cos alpha sin alpha minus sin alpha cos alpha, sorry, if this is your matrix cos alpha minus sin alpha sin alpha and cos alpha, then its inverse is by taking transpose. So, first row will appears as a first column, second row will appears as a second column, clear, and this matrix is called as orthogonal matrix. Remember that every unit matrix is a orthogonal matrix, because the unit matrix if taken as a transpose, again we are getting a unit matrix. The next idempotent matrix, any square matrix A is said to be idempotent provided it satisfies the relation A square is equal to A. If A into A is equal to A, then that is called as idempotent matrix. With the example 1 half 1 half 1 half 1 half, this is a idempotent matrix, because you will observe that its product with itself is 1 half into 1 half 1 half into 1 half, that is 1 by 4 1 by 4, here also 1 by 4 1 by 4 1 by 4 1 by 4, that is 2 by 4 2 by 4 means 1 half. So, 1 half 1 half 1 half 1 half, this is your resultant matrix, which is equal to A itself. A square is equal to A, therefore it is idempotent matrix. Okay. Next, the other idempotent matrices you can consider 1 0 0 1 or 0 0 0 1, they are also idempotent matrices, because A square is equal to A, B square is equal to B. Okay. Next, we have to consider involutory matrix. Involutory matrix means what? Any square matrix such that A square is equal to I. In previous what we have seen, A square is equal to A, that is called as idempotent, but in involutory we have to consider A square is equal to I. For example, identity matrix itself, if you considering I square, then again it is I, so it is involutory matrix. Okay. Then next we have to consider nilpotent matrix. A square matrix A is called a nilpotent matrix if there exists a positive integer m such that A raised to m is equal to 0. This m is called as index. Okay. Then m is called as index. So, if A raised to m is equal to 0, then m is called as index of nilpotent matrix A. For example, all these are nilpotent matrices. Okay. A nilpotent matrix has potential to become null matrix if we keep on multiplying with itself. That is actually the meaning. A raised to m means what? We multiplying the matrix A with itself. Okay. Then Hermitian matrix. A square matrix A equal to Aij is said to be Hermitian if Aij is equal to Aji bar. Now, with the example you get it clear actually. Suppose we are considering the matrix A B plus Ci. Now, you will observe that what is its conjugate? What is its conjugate? It is B minus Ci, and that appears at a transpose position. This is your diagonal, and if these elements are conjugate symmetric, you will observe these are conjugate symmetrics. B plus Ci has a conjugate B minus Ci that appears as a mirror image in a diagonal. Similarly, the another example will clear it. Here, this is your diagonal. You will observe that 3 minus 4i, its diagonal, its conjugate is 3 plus 4i. You will observe here Aij is equal to Aji bar. Okay. So, this is 1 2 position and this is 2 1 position, and they are conjugates of each other. Clear? If a conjugate position is obtained, then as a transpose position, then that is called as Hermitian matrix. And if that is with negative sign, then it is called as Q-Hermitian. So, if Aij is equal to minus Aji bar, that is you getting a conjugate at transpose position, but with negative sign. Okay, and that is called as Q-Hermitian matrix. Now, see here, what is conjugate of this? Conjugate of this is minus 2 minus I. And what is negative of this? Negative of this is S2 plus I, and you will observe that this is your diagonal, and a negative of a conjugate you getting at this position as a transpose position, and that is why it is called as Q-Hermitian. The same thing happens here also. You will observe that its conjugate is minus 3 minus 2i, and The negative sign is 3 plus 2i. Its conjugate is minus 1 plus I. Okay, and that's conjugate is here with negative sign 1 minus I. Then conjugate of this is minus 2 plus 4i. Am I right? And its negative is 2 minus 4i. That is coming here. This way you can consider symmetric and skew symmetric, sorry, Hermitian and skew Hermitian matrices. Now, submatrix means what? Suppose that you have given a m by n matrix, then the matrix obtained by leaving some rows or some columns or both, that is called as submatrix. For example, these are submatrices of this matrix. This is matrix of order 3 by 4, and you will observe that this first part is taken into consideration. So, some row or some column is deleted. This column is deleted. That's why this is called as submatrix. Similarly, while considering this, you will observe that this row, this column and this column is omitted. This part is called as submatrix. Okay. So, this is concept of submatrix. One more important concept, that is differentiation of a matrix. If A is a matrix which consisting of some functions at 1 1, 1 2, 2 1 and 2 2 position, then just consider derivative of each function. So, the differentiation of matrix dA by dx is nothing but f dash of x, g dash of x, h dash of x, l dash of x. So, every function is differentiated with x or with respect to x at its own position, and that attempts the same position. With the example you get it clear. Okay. If A is equal to x square sin x, 2x and 2, what is the derivative of x square? It is 2x. Derivative of sin x, cos x. Derivative of 2x, 2. Derivative of 2, 0. So, this is your dA by dx. Is that clear? This way you can consider. And now we are going to consider some MCQs which we have considered on the base of things which we have seen just. If you considering, suppose you have a matrix A 2 4 5 4 8 10 minus 6 12 minus 15, and we want to find the rank. For that we have to consider the determinant. Okay, and based on determinant you can think what is the rank. So, actually the solution of this is 1, rank of this is 1. See why it is 1. Here if you considering the solution, you will observe that this is matrix A. Okay, then on this matrix A, if you considering a transformation, R2 is equal to R2 minus 2R1, R2 is equal to R2 minus 2R1, and R3 is equal to R3 plus 3R1. So, what happens? 4 minus 4 0, 8 minus 8 0, 10 minus 10 0, minus 6 plus 6 0, minus 12 plus 12 0, minus 15 plus 15 0. So, last two rows are becoming 0 here, and so determinant of A is equal to what? 0, because any row or any column is entirely of zeros, then value of determinant is 0. So, since it is a matrix with determinant 0, but you will observe that all the entries are not 0, at least one non-zero entry is there, isn't it? That's why its rank is 1. Okay. Then second question, the value of lambda such that this system of equation has non-trivial solution. Now you will observe that here all the right hand side constants are zeros, means it is a homogeneous system. It has only possibility of unique solution or infinitely many solutions. Unique solution means trivial solution. Unique solution means trivial solution, that is all variables equal to 0, and we know that that is possible if determinant is non-zero. And what is we expecting? The value of lambda such that this has non-trivial solution. Non-trivial solution means determinant is equal to 0. So, let us see what is the solution. The solution is minus 1, lambda has a value minus 1. Since the given equations have a non-trivial solution, that means delta is equal to 0. Delta means determinant of coefficients, that is equal to 0. So this is your coefficients 1, 3, lambda, they appearing as the first row, 2, 4, minus 1, second row, and 1, 5, minus 2, third row. This determinant is equal to 0. Therefore, it is clear that if you simplifying this, you will observe that the value of lambda is equal to minus 1. Is that clear? That's why this is your answer. If you expecting non-trivial solution for this, non-trivial solution means you expecting here determinant of coefficients is equal to 0, and with that you getting the value of lambda is equal to minus 1. Then next question, the third example, the values of alpha for which the system of equations, now you have 1 alpha, alpha square, these are the values on right hand side, the left hand side is as usual. Now we don't know what are the values of alpha, but it is clear that the right hand side is non-zero, at least one is non-zero, means this is non-homogeneous system of linear equations, and we expecting consistent. Consistent means either unique solution or infinitely many solutions. So let us see what happens. The answer is 1, 2, and see how. These are your coefficient matrices, right hand side matrices and matrices of variables. Then for the consistent system, the determinant must be equal to 0. Okay, and therefore it is clear that 0 equal to 0 you have got. Okay, now if determinant is equal to 0, then adjoint of A into B you have to consider. Adjoint of A into B, if equal to 0, then only it is consistent. If it is non-zero, then it is not consistent. And we expecting consistent system, therefore adjoint of A into B is equal to, and therefore you have to consider its adjoint. So you will observe that after reduction you are getting this type of situation. Okay, so Ax, actually this is your adjoint. If you considering for the first element, what is the cofactor? 20 minus 16, that is 4 is coming here. Then for the second element, 10, isn't it? 10 minus 4, 6, but that coming here with negative sign. For this element, for this third element, the minor is 4 minus 2, it is 2, so that 2 is coming here. Okay, so this is your consideration, and since the given matrix is symmetric, the adjoint is also symmetric. Okay, and after solvation you will observe that the values of alpha are S 1, and that's why C is the correct option. Clear? And next example, that is the system of equations Ax plus Ay minus z equal to 0, Bx minus y plus Bz is equal to 0, minus x plus Cy plus Cz is equal to 0 has non-trivial solution. The right hand side constants are zeros, and non-trivial solutions means determinant is equal to 0. Then the value of 1 upon 1 plus A plus 1 upon 1 plus B plus 1 upon 1 plus C is, now the answer is this one. The value of this is 2, and see how that's coming. Here you have given that it has non-trivial solution, therefore the determinant of coefficients is equal to 0. Apply some transformation, C2 as C2 minus C1, C3 as C3 minus C1. Okay, so column operations are done, and with this column operations it is equal to 0. That indicates that on dividing 1 upon 1 plus A, 1 plus B, 1 plus C, we get minus A upon 1 plus A, then B upon 1 plus B, and this, changing the signs, get this 1 plus goes on the right hand side. Okay, you will observe that value is equal to 2. Is it clear? Yes. This way you can consider solutions of problems based on concepts which we have seen. This is something about CET concepts or JEE concepts. Thank you.